Hello, my name's Bond, Richard Bond, and this is Curmudgeonly Yours, a show on Society Bites Radio, part of the Radio Ear Network family, supplying social interaction for the mind and soul. The introductory and concluding music to this show is La Polonaise by Wieniawski, played by Max Bond. I am your host and curmudgeon, where everything is what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. And what is not said is often of most interest. Today, my guest is Professor Robert Vodnoy, who is the music director of the Chamber Orchestra of Sarasota, which he founded in 2017. Hello, Robert. Welcome back to Curmudgeonly Yours on Society Bites Radio.
Hi, Richard. It's great to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. During the summer season, Professor Vodnoy is the conductor and music director of the Whiting Park Festival Orchestra, which performs a huge array of popular and classical favorites like A Broadway Celebration, Bernstein and Friends, which is the music of Bernstein, Debussy, Mahler, and Beethoven, Rise with the Texas Tenors, and American Visions featuring Peter Boyer's Ellis Island, The Dream of America. Professor Vodnoy has guest conducted numerous orchestras throughout the world, including the Symphony Orchestra of the Zhejiang Song and Dance Theater in China, the Bellevue Philharmonic, the Mississippi Symphony, the Orchestra of the Colorado Music Festival, the Jacksonville Symphony, the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra, the Czech National Symphony. Wow! The Orchestra Sinfonica di San Remo in Italy, the National Philharmonica of Taiwan, the Jönköping Symphony, and the Seoul Philharmonic. In May 2018, Professor Vodnoy retired from Northern State University as conductor of the Aberdeen University Civic Symphony, professor of strings and music history. In his 13 years at NSU, he rose to the rank of full professor and conducted over 100 concerts and productions with the orchestra and the musical theater program. He hosted such as Rachel Barton Pine and Wesley Baldwin, conducted masterpieces such as Carmina Burana with the University/Community Chorus, and such Broadway shows as The Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, and Hunchback of Notre Dame. Prior to going to Northern State in 2005, he was the long-tenured music director of the Southwest Michigan Symphony and the Northwest Indiana Symphony. Professor Robert Vodnoy has spoken at numerous national conferences on the arts, including at conferences presented by Americans for the Arts and the Association of Arts Administration Educators. He holds a BM summa cum laude and an MM in composition from the University of Hartford. Professor Vodnoy, since you were last on this show, we have been hit with COVID-19, which has humbled everybody and everything. A lot of people in concerts have gone online. How did the live stream concert on December 16th go? How did it come about? And tell us about some of the pieces on the program.
Well, Richard, I'd love to tell you about that. I want to add, by the way, that the Whiting Park Festival Orchestra that you summarized so nicely, we actually canceled the entire season.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, last spring I was here planning it, and then I got home just in time to start canceling it concert at a time. Oh. So we basically lost that whole season. But we're looking forward to getting back up again with that orchestra in 2021.
Yeah, and I see you've got another session too, another concert here in Sarasota, so that'll be good too.
That's correct. So the question you asked me was, how did the live stream concert come about?
Right.
And, I first of all want to acknowledge my sister, the co-founder of the orchestra, Lori Vodnoy Wright, because it was actually her suggestion that she thought we could get a Music Performance Trust Fund grant. And then I got a lot of help from Jeannie Phelan, who's the Secretary-Treasurer of the local AFM chapter 427-721. So the Music Performance Trust Fund, do you know what it is?
No. Well, I think you told me once before, but tell us again, because our listeners have to hear.
Well, it was established in 1948. It's a non-profit, independent public service organization, and their mission is to contribute to the public knowledge and appreciation of music. They're headquartered in New York, and they have evolved through a landmark bargaining agreement with the AFM and the major recording companies, so that a small piece of royalty comes off of every recording and goes into that fund. So that's money that comes from Sony and Universal and Warner Brothers. And the money is then dispensed by the trust fund trustees through the local AFM chapters to support admission-free musical programs annually throughout the United States and Canada. So we were fortunate to get, I think it was one of only two in this local area, to cover the cost of presenting a live stream concert, which was a completely new experience for us. We had not been doing that at all.
Okay.
And I also want to commend the Church of the Redeemer, who provided the venue free of charge and a lot of the technical expertise to produce the live stream concert, which was a actually gorgeous production. I mean, it was basically a 4-camera shoot, and they edited it on the fly. But it was.
And that video is still available, right? Or is it?
No, it's not. Terms of the contract with the trust fund are that it's for a single live stream event. So it came and went.
Oh, okay. Maybe next time you can keep it, so you keep the video or on YouTube or something like that?
Well, we're working on what we're going to do for the February and March concerts. And since the funding won't be coming from the trust fund, we don't have that limitation. So our plan, stay tuned, of course, we'll see, but our plan is to record those two concerts, and they'll be available on the church's YouTube channel and ours as well.
Okay. So, now, tell us about some of the pieces on the program. What did you play? Yeah.
Well, so we only had a 2-hour rehearsal, and there was
that's tough.
Yeah, it was actually a fabulous performance. So the way I managed to do that was, first of all, there was one piece on the program that was new to us. As you know, of course, 2020 was the 250th anniversary of the birth of Beethoven.
Yep.
And we actually played the concert on December 16th, which is actually his birthday.
Wow.
So we opened the program with 3 movements from his Serenade in D, which is a string trio, but arranged for full string orchestra.
Okay.
So that was our brand new piece for that concert. And then the remaining 5 pieces were pieces that we have played basically over the 3 seasons of the orchestra's existence since we were founded in 2017. So the next piece was a movement from the Elgar Serenade, which we played last February. And then I chose 4 pieces that were holiday pieces that we played over all 3 seasons. So we did a Schiazzi Christmas Symphony, we did Leroy Anderson's Suite of Carols, we did Bill Holcomb's Festive Sounds of Hanukkah. The live stream was actually during Hanukkah, and Niels Gada's Christmas Eve Suite.
Now, I remember those was Joanna Fisher singing?
No, they were, well, we'll talk about the conditions under which we're going to be able to play concerts. But one thing for sure is that I've limited the orchestra to just strings.
I see.
That's the least problem in terms of being COVID compliant. So we only had strings on this concert. We didn't use any of our winds or brass players, and no singers.
I see. Well, that brings me to my next point, which is, what is the Chamber Orchestra of Sarasota doing to make concerts safe for a live audience to attend? I think next on February 16th, we're going to have a live audience, right? So who will be playing? Yeah, who will be playing with the orchestra this season? So go ahead.
Sure. Well, as far as the performers are concerned, we'll be using 11 string players, 5 violins, 6 violins, and 5 viola, cello, and bass. So it's balanced. Mm-hmm. And we have to seat them so that they're 6 feet apart from each other. So we had that experience in December, and that they're such wonderful musicians. It didn't take very long before you got used to it, but it's a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, how does that affect the sound in the church?
Oh, I think the sound in the church was actually excellent. The ability of the players to hear each other was a new experience, because first of all, normally string players sit 2 on a stand, mm-hmm. right? But right. In order to have them 6 feet apart, you can't do that. So that meant everybody had their own music, which did give us some funny challenges with page turns. If you've got 3 violins and they're all turning their own pages, that means with the page turn, no one's playing. So
unless you have a page turner with a masked page turner.
Yeah, well, even then the page turner would be too close to the player. So what we had to do is prepare the musical scores so that they had the page turn came where there was a rest, or we printed extra pages so they could open it up and play all the way through. So that's the COVID-19 challenges on the performer side. For the audience, the Church of the Redeemer seats close to 500 people, but we're only going to seat 75 people. So that means that people will be able to sit every other row, every other pew, and only, 2 to 4 people in a pew. So that the audience can be seated more than 6 feet apart from each other. So that's one thing. That's one thing we're doing. We're going to 1-hour concerts. So instead of a full 2-hour concert with an intermission, which then would get us into problems with bathrooms, something as mundane as that.
Yeah.
It'll be a 1-hour concert. There'll be a performance at 5:30, and then we'll repeat the program at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and masks will be required of the audience and the orchestra, so people can come and feel safe. Right. And those are guidelines that are published by that come from the CDC.
Sure.
And we're looking at the guidelines as they're coming out of the AFM as well. So we're confident actually that smaller audiences, seated farther apart, wearing masks, and then I would also add that the church spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars on new HVAC system improvements to make sure that the air handlers are cleaning the air. Because, of course, they have to have church services in there, so they want to keep their own people safe, too.
What a nightmare this virus is. Well, that's a cliche of the century here.
I don't think of it as it is. It's difficult. And we can talk about other issues we've had to deal with. But I must say that just in terms of challenging our creative urges to solve problems, it's been kind of exciting.
I guess so.
Sort of way.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Robert Vodnoy, who is sponsoring the February 16th Celebrating America's Music concert?
Yeah, we have actually 2 sponsors. The major sponsor is the Arts and Cultural